Hi, my name is Sarah, and today I'm going to be telling you all about me. So, I asked you in a poll if you were interested to get to know me a little bit better because all you know so far technically is that my name is Sarah and that sometimes I kind of remember my filmmaking degree, but that's really all you know about me. So, well, kind of also know my birthday, my age, that I'm in Germany. But I think that's all you know. So I thought it might be interesting to some of you to actually know me a little bit and get to know me a little bit. Most of you said though that you just wanted to know about me but didn't have any questions, but there were some people who said they do have questions. So if you have a question, feel free to ask me down in the comments and I will answer or I won't answer depending on if I want to answer the question. But potentially also I'll just keep some questions and maybe do a Q&A sometime later or I don't know, some other time. We'll see. But for now, I just felt like I wanted to talk to you and tell you a little bit about me. I don't know why I'm sitting so far on the right side of the screen because I won't have anything playing here, but I'm just used to this, so let's do that. About me, my name is Sarah. I'm 25 years old. My birthday is May 11th. My sun sign is Taurus. My moon sign is Libra and my ascending is Scorpio, in case you wonder. Another thing that you should know about me is I'm really shy. My Myers-Briggs type is ISFP. That's the defender. I don't know if these are super accurate, but I do associate with the description, so I guess that works. My favorite color is blue, indicated by my hair. What really is there to know about me? I guess mostly relevant is my career, or like my education is a better way of putting it. I have a degree in graphic design and photography, and after I finished that, I decided to study acting actually, and I moved to LA in 2015 to get a bachelor in acting. But I changed my mind while I was in LA. I didn't really like the course for acting that they had there because it was a little too theory-based for me. And I don't consider myself an actress, but if I do ever act anything, I usually just act how I would act in the situation. I don't make up a whole character. And that's what they taught there. So I decided that wasn't for me. And instead, I decided to study filmmaking and go on the other side of the camera. Even though I have actually been editing since I was like 10 or something, or like 12, I don't know. Because there are some very old, very, very old YouTube channels of mine. There's one that has a video with like 200k views that I recently found out. And well, I'm famous. I don't know what else to tell you. No, just kidding. I'm also, something that you should know is I am very sarcastic. I try not to be in my videos because that doesn't really translate, especially if people take it out of context, which has happened before. But in person, I am a very sarcastic person. So basically my humor or like the jokes that I make is me making fun of myself or things by being sarcastic. Me saying I'm famous is me making a joke. Nobody please think I actually think I'm famous. I'm a nobody. But yes, so I decided to switch my major to filmmaking, and I unfortunately had to also switch from bachelor degree to an associate degree because I couldn't afford to go through half of a bachelor again. So I unfortunately have the equivalent of two associate degrees instead of an associate and a bachelor, which is kind of really sad, but well, that's how it is. And after I finished studying filmmaking, I worked in LA for a year as an editor for a company. I cut basically a talk show and some other stuff as well. Okay, so I feel like I majorly underplayed that. I actually was the lead editor of a talk show and a baking show. And lead editor in this case meant that I was in charge of the creative, or let's say I had a lot of say in the creative aspects of the show, which related to editing. So I had a big say in the graphics, I had a big say in the pacing and even camera angles sometimes. I also sat down with the directors and the producers to talk about things, stuff like that. So in that case, I wasn't quote unquote just an editor, but I was actually a lead editor. So I didn't just execute, but I actually had a say in how the shows looked when it was finished. But I did also edit other things. I did also just execute and just edit things that I had no say in. And that was a really good time. Overall, my 5 years in LA that I lived there were probably the best years of my life so far. I was really sad when I had to leave back to Germany, but currently I'm kind of happy that I'm here, to be honest, and not in the USA. But okay. Yes, so work-wise, what I've done is, this is something that I write into my description currently because I get a lot of comments asking what movie I directed to call myself a filmmaker. I guess everyone has their own opinion on everything always, forever. But in my opinion, the word filmmaker entails that you make films or you have made a film, or that's you're active in the making of a film, or in the making of video, I guess I should say. I consider myself a filmmaker because I have a degree in it, but also because I have made short films before. I directed 4 short films, one of which my friend Anis wrote and starred in, and that film actually won a bunch of film festival awards. Nothing major, so I'm not an Oscar winner or anything important, but it's still a really cool accomplishment and made me really proud. That film won, I don't know how many, but like I think 10 plus film festival awards or like selections and things like that. It was written by Anis, and Anis was the main actor, and I was a director and editor, and I also made the poster for it. So it was just really, it was a really nice experience, and I'm really proud of that one. I'm also really proud of the other 4 short films that I directed. I wrote those, produced those, edited them, and directed them. I only submitted one of those to festivals, and it got 1 selection, so that's not really as much as I was hoping for, but it's still good. And most importantly, I finished 4 short films. So that's why I call myself a filmmaker. I might not live up to other filmmakers on this platform, or I might not live up to your criteria of a filmmaker. Maybe, I guess, if you only consider someone a filmmaker if they've won an Oscar or like an important award, then that's your prerogative, I guess. But in my opinion, I think artists should be, respected for their craft and respected as an artist for making the art that they claim they do. So if a musician doesn't have a cover or a feature with Adele, they're still a musician in my eyes. But again, I guess everyone makes their own decision about that. But yes, so that's about me career-wise, which kind of relates to this channel the most, I guess. If you want to see any of my directing or editing work, or also my graphic design or photography work, my link to my website is in my description if you want to look at that. Graphic design-wise, I love making posters for movies or short films. I did that a lot in LA as well. It's a really big hobby of mine because I love Photoshop. I'm really proud of those posters, and I also really like photography. So those are the things that I kind of like to do and would like to work on, in, for, at, with. Yes, so that's mostly all there is to know about my education. And then privately, hobbies. My biggest hobby is video games. I love video games. I have actually always wanted to do a gaming channel, but I couldn't ever figure out how to record my screen and the screen audio and my face and my audio while having all of it separate and all of that. So of course the PS4 makes that a little easier. I don't know, I just haven't really done it yet. I really still want to do it. I would love to do Twitch. But my internet here is so crappy that I can't even watch a stream on Twitch, let alone stream myself. So that's not gonna happen until I get better internet, I guess. But yes, so my biggest hobby is video games. My favorite games include the BioShock series, Mass Effect series, Borderlands 2 is my favorite, but I like all the Borderlands games. I used to play mostly Nintendo games, so also of course Super Mario Galaxy or Mario Kart or Animal Crossing. Relating to Nintendo games, I completely forgot to mention my actual favorite games, not just games that I've played that I enjoyed, but my favorite games, which include Hotel Dusk Room 215, Another Code to Memories, 9 Hours, 9 Persons, 9 Doors. If you have not played that game, it's pretty old, I think, at this point. And it's for the Nintendo DS, so I don't know how feasible it is to play that anymore. But if you have not played that, I recommend it so much. And the Ace Attorney series as well. Love that game, or those games better. Nowadays, I'm kind of really just playing on the PlayStation because I love the PlayStation. I'm a sucker for the PlayStation. I've never had an Xbox and I don't plan on owning one ever. I'm a PlayStation girl. Other hobbies I have are dancing. I love dancing. For lack of a better word, I learned belly dancing when I was like 10. I know that's probably not the word people use, but I don't know any other word to describe that with. Yeah, I love dancing. I love to dance. I don't really do it anywhere ever or ever show it because I'm shy. Obviously, I also love watching movies and TV shows. Favorite TV shows. Oh god, I have so many. Avatar: The Last Airbender. I have to say it right now because I'm rewatching it currently and it's just so good. Breaking Bad, of course. I also like Orphan Black. I don't really like the ending, but I like the series overall. What else? Oh god. Parks and Recreation, The Office, of course. What other shows did I know? Sherlock, I really like Sherlock as well. Surprise, I also blanked on like every show I ever watched. So more shows that I absolutely love are Death Note. I wish I could erase my brain and watch that show again for the first time. Sailor Moon. I'm a huge Sailor Moon fan. Oh, of course, The Handmaid's Tale. I love The Handmaid's Tale as well. I'm very excited for the new season. Game of Thrones. I don't know how I forgot that show exists. I think it's the 8th season. I think it's the ending, which just made me forget that I ever watched it. Shade intended. And then favorite movies. I have a lot of favorite movies. I really like Inception. I love movies like Inception where you watch and you have no idea what's going on. The end is just like a huge mindfuck. I love movies like that. Then I also love Harry Potter, the movies. I haven't read the books. I'm not a big reader. Don't kill me. I know the books are better. I listened to the Potterless podcast, so I have heard the books, I guess. Kind of, almost. If you're wondering what Harry Potter house I am, make your guesses now. I would love to know what you think I am. I'm actually a Slytherin. I would be a Slytherclaw if I could choose two houses. I would definitely be Slytherclaw because I feel like Slytherin is where I belong in, but Ravenclaw is, I don't know. I guess I'm just a fucking Slytherin, let's be honest. I also love the Marvel movies. My favorite Marvel movie is probably Doctor Strange because I love Benedict Cumberbatch, but also I just really like the movie. I guess I just like folding cities because that's a thing in Inception, and Stranger Things is another TV series I like. That was a weird thought. Doctor Strange also has folding cities. I just like mindfuck things, I guess. I don't know. Favorite movies I forgot to mention are Madagascar. I love Madagascar. I can recite the first 15 minutes in German word by word because I've seen it so many times. I also love The Incredibles. I love Look Who's Talking Now. I don't know if anyone knows that movie. It's with John Travolta and Kirstie Alley. I love that movie. It's actually a sequel, but I love it much more than the first one. I think that one is just because of nostalgia, because I don't know if it's a good movie, but I just love it because it reminds me of when I was a kid. I love Black Swan. There's a lot more movies that I really love, but I can't list all of them now. But in general, those are the types of movies that I really like. My favorite Disney movie is probably Tangled. I just love Rapunzel because she's blonde and she has green eyes and she's from Germany and I think she's a Taurus, so I feel like I am her. And I also love the music in that, so I guess. What else is there to know about me? I love cats and dogs, both equally. We here with my parents, we have pugs and French bulldogs. Except for two, they're all rescues. So we take in old dogs or like dogs from bad conditions and like give them a house. Also, as I mentioned in one of my videos, I'm bisexual, so that kind of ties in the cats and dogs things because I can't choose ever. My favorite food is fries. Anything made out of potatoes. I could eat that for the rest of my life and I would be happy. Anything made out of potatoes. Mashed potatoes, baked potatoes, fries. Also, as I mentioned in one of my videos, I'm bisexual, so that kind of ties in the cats and dogs things because I can't choose ever. My favorite food is fries. Anything made out of potatoes. I could eat that for the rest of my life and I would be happy. Anything made out of potatoes. Potatoes are so good, and I'm not Irish, just so in case you're wondering. I'm German. Close enough, I guess. Languages might be interesting. So obviously I speak German and English. English I was never really good at. I moved to LA and my English wasn't bad, but it wasn't great. And I had a really heavy accent. And then I lived there for 5 years, so naturally I improved. And now I really much prefer to speak in English over German because German is a stupid fucking difficult language that nobody needs. So I think in English, I dream in English. I'm really not German anymore. I don't associate with Germany anymore at all. So that's an interesting fact that you know about me now. Otherwise, I learned French for 4 years in school and I speak like 3 words. I know some Spanish because in the 5 years that I lived in LA, I didn't only learn English, I also learned Spanish because actually the whole 5 years, either my roommates or my best friends or my friend circle, there were always a lot of Spanish speakers around me. So naturally I just picked up on Spanish because they were speaking it so much, and a lot of words are kind of similar to French, so I understood most of it, so I speak some Spanish as well. I started learning Korean, but it's damn difficult, so I stopped. But sometimes I can read Hangul and most of the times I can't. And obviously I don't really have any vocabulary. I know random words like pihengi and annyeong. And I have probably a super bad accent, which is so sad. But yes, and then I speak like 2 words in Japanese. Like, what do I know? I was about to say annyeonghaseyo. Oh my god. No. Konnichiwa, saramida. That's Korean again. I have this thing. When I want to speak French, I turn into Spanish. And now when I want to speak Japanese, I turn into Korean. Oh my god. Wait. Annyeonghaseyo, saramida. Okay, that's Korean. Out of my system. Konnichiwa, watashi wa Sara desu. Yoroshiku onegai shimasu. I have no idea how I pronounced, if that was any good at all, but I know that. I think that means, hello, my name is Sarah, nice to meet you, but I could be wrong. Yeah, so those are all the languages I know. Really, I only speak German and English. Everything else is just like Spanish. I understand much more than I speak. Otherwise, I love music. Obviously, this ties into my career. I've always wanted to direct a music video. That's one of my biggest goals. That's kind of my dream job, I guess. I play the trombone. I learned for 2 years how to play the trombone, and it's hanging on the wall downstairs. I still have it. I don't know if I can play still. Maybe. I haven't played in a long time, at least 6 years. I had a few violin lessons. I had like 6 weeks of violin lessons, and then I was too impatient because it wasn't happening fast enough for me, because I love the violin. The violin is probably my favorite instrument with the piano. So I just wanted to play the violin. And then I had 6 weeks of lessons and I was like, okay, why can't I play the violin yet? And then I stopped, which is a shame because I was actually pretty good. My teacher kept saying that I was really good and that I knew a lot for the amount of time that I had spent learning. I don't think she was being nice to me. I think she was being honest, but maybe she was just being nice. And I also know a few songs on the keyboard, but self-taught. I never had any lessons. And I play the flute, this kind of flute, not this kind of flute. I don't know if there's a different name for this. I didn't talk about K-pop in this video at all because I talk about it exclusively on this channel, but just thought I should mention that my favorite groups are Day 6 and 17. They're my old groups. I also love Monster X, Astro, Stray Kids, and GOT7. Those are the groups that I would say I officially stan. My biases and bias wreckers in those groups are Young K, Bias, One Pill, maybe Bias Wrecker, but I love all of them. It's hard to pick a Bias Wrecker. In Day 6, Mingyu, Hoshi, S-Scoops, Seungkwan, Biases in 17, The 8, a Bias Wrecker, maybe. Again, hard to have a Bias Wrecker in a group that you absolutely love. Juhan, Bias, Shonu, Bias Wrecker, maybe also I am Bias Wrecker in Monster X. MJ and Jinjin bias in Astro, and everyone else bias Wrecker because they're also fucking cute. Stray Kids, I'm really struggling to pick a bias because I really love Han, Felix, Hyunjin, Changbin, and Bangchan. all of them, but I think probably my bias would be Han, and then everyone else would be my bias wrecker, maybe, I don't know. Bias in GOT7 is Bam Bam, and bias wrecker is everyone else, because they're all the most beautiful people I've ever seen. Non-Korean musicians that I like. I really listen to all kinds of music, really any genre. I listen to Metallica, I listen to AC/DC, I listen to Ed Sheeran, Beyonce, Ariana Grande. I listen to classical music as well. I listen to everything. I listen to Carrie Underwood and Taylor Swift. I listen to Eminem. I listen to Nicki Minaj, One Republic, Maroon 5, of course, Melanie Martinez. I listen to Pendulum, if anyone knows Pendulum. I don't know how well known they are. And The Neighborhood. And yeah, I listen to, I think, every genre of music. And yeah, I think that's all there is to know about me for now. If I forgot to say anything, I might add a graphic or a voiceover. Or also feel free to, of course, ask me questions if you have any questions. Yeah, as I said, I might answer them in the comments, or maybe I'll save them for a Q&A video sometime later. I don't know. And as I said, I have my website linked in the description if you want to see any of my work that I've done so far. I think I haven't updated it in a long time though, because I have nothing new to show. I think that's all for this video. Thank you so much for watching and for being interested in my person. I appreciate that. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.